Dear friends of Myanmar the world over who stand with us in solidarity, I address you today as the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar on behalf of the National Unity Government and as a parliamentarian elected to office by the express will of the people. As August 1st marked 18 months of the People's Revolution, 18 months of shared struggle of resistance, of national unity against an illegal military junta bent on destroying this dutiful nation. The darkest days are upon us: war, poverty, terrorism, economic devastation. These are the hallmarks of Myanmar and the junta. And now, in its ever-escalating embrace of atrocities, we grieve the executions of political prisoners. Each of your calls for expressions of concern and condemnation is from your side, just regrettable failure of sincere intention to facilitate moderation and de-escalation of violence. For us, it is extremely painful loss of lives. For us, it is burning the houses and whole villages, destructions of most basic condition for life of tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands ordinary people who anyhow have lived on the edge of poverty and in constant struggle to sustain their families. Dear friends, while you are again and again calling for restraints and negotiations, Myanmar is hardening his stand. While you call for Dawn San Suu Kyi to be released, Myanmar has moved her from house arrest to prison. While you put significant and quiet diplomacy to persuade Myanmar not to carry on executions, he has killed 4 political prisoners and junta spokesperson in boasting that, according to law, they will execute more. Myanmar must be stopped once and for all. This senseless and illegal execution of Ko Jimi, Ko Phyo Ziyado, Ko Lam Nyo Aung, and Ko Aung Tuzo is reprehensible. Once again proved Myanmar and the junta showed absolute disregard to international norms, human rights, and amicable resolution to the current crisis. But more gravely, a complete contempt and disregard for Myanmar people. Myanmar has repeatedly exploited and betrayed ASEAN's effort to help find sustainable political solution. This execution further demonstrates the junta's disregard to the commitment it has made to the current ASEAN chair and ASEAN envoy. Indiscriminate bombings, murder, arbitrary arrest, and detentions and destruction of properties are intolerable now for our people in every corner of our society. Dear friends, how many more lives does the international community need before it can act decisively against the hunters? Weapons for Ukrainians, airlifts from Afghans, and deafening silence from Myanmar people. Who are we to you now? Are we expected to suffer their atrocities rather than and more than others? Endless debate on legitimacy and credentials, statement of condemnation, leveraging humanitarian access here and there, yet nothing for our people, nothing for our effort to restore that is rightly ours, the right to live in safety. 4 of our brothers martyred for their commitment to a free and democratic Myanmar. 41 political prisoners announced for executions. Who will be next? Pointing on the head of those democratically elected in 2020 elections. Who dare to serve our people in health, education, humanitarian response, protection of women and girls? All the while I have respected every request to me to keep meetings secret, to be patient, to be grateful for your attention. All the while I want to scream, help, help our people. Our people need your help. The preamble of the United Nations Charter states that the people of the United Nations determined to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war, which has brought untold sorrow to mankind, and to reaffirm faith in fundamental human rights, in the dignity and worth of the human person, and to establish conditions under which justice and respect for the obligations arising from treaties and other sources of international law can be maintained, and to promote social progress and better standards of life in larger freedom. It is time to put this into action. To the United Nations member states, Security Council, and international community, we appreciate the statements of condemnation of the executions, our friends, but without practical actions, it is hollow words. Effective, decisive, and united collective action is needed immediately. Cut the revenue streams of Myanmar and his terrorist army as efficiently as possible. Suspend all international representation of the junta and prevent any representation of the junta in any international platforms. The United Nations Security Council must act swiftly, utilizing responsibility to protect by sending troops and weapons supplied to our united ethnic and democratic forces. Lastly, immediately recognize the National Unity Government as the government of Myanmar and afford us the same right and dignity of all other democratically elected governments in the world today. We have vision for the peaceful future of our country. We have legitimacy. We have sense of responsibility. We have support of the people of our country. We care for lives. We care for rights, for rule of law, for peace, for understanding, for accountability. We care. Start by talking with us instead of either creepily engaging and legitimizing junta or issuing ineffective statements of regret. None of those is bringing you closer to help us, and both of that is bringing us every day closer to death and destruction. As our people died in every day in the IDP camps and in their homes, and people defense forces trying to protect themselves, we compel international partners to exhaust all possible political and diplomatic means to help realize our yearning for safety, stability, peace, and freedom from the junta's dictatorial rule. As I close, I assure you with full voice that the people of Myanmar shall prevail. Peace and justice shall prevail, and we will restore Myanmar to its place among the vanguard of democracies. Our unshakable faith in our revolution carries at its core a commitment to our international obligations and our commitment to development, peace, and stability, to our neighboring countries, to our regions, and to the world. I thank you.